Hey everyone, welcome back to another PNSO review. Today we're taking a look at Logan, the Nanotyrannus. Oof, this little figure caused quite the stir in the dinosaur toy collecting community when it was first revealed. That's because a lot of paleontologists consider Nanotyrannus just to be a juvenile T-Rex. A lot of people are wondering why PNSO didn't just call this a juvenile T-Rex. It's obviously meant to go with Wilson and Andrea. Even though it hasn't totally been proven that Nanotyrannus is a juvenile T-Rex, I seriously could do a whole video on the subject, but there's some differences that paleontologists think this might be an almost mature animal. The skull bones were fused, but maybe the skull was crushed. There's a lot of stuff. It has a few extra teeth. I could just keep going and going and going, but for the sake of this review, I'm going to call this thing a juvenile T-Rex. So anyways, I ended up getting this figure off of Amazon. It retails for just over $30, and I'll leave a link to that Amazon listing down below in the description. So let's go over the packaging really quick before we take a closer look at Logan. You get a picture of the juvenile T-Rex on the front of the packaging. It is part of the Prehistoric Animal Models line, number 49. On top of the box, you have a close-up of Logan's big, goofy eyes. And then, just like every other figure from PNSO, you do get a pamphlet with a little, childlike story about this figure. And then open it up, we got another picture of Logan. And usually there's a skeletal up here, which is very odd. It's just the silhouette of the figure. It would have been really nice if they did a skeletal of the Jane specimen, but they didn't, so it is what it is. But on the back of the back of the pamphlet, you get this beautiful artwork of the juvenile Rex, and I think that looks really nice. Much, much, much better than the actual figure that's in the box. I really, really wish they went with this color scheme. Even if they didn't even put like feathers on it, I would have much, much preferred this. So enough about the packaging. Let's throw Logan up on the turntable and take a closer look. All right, let's start a nice 360-degree view of Logan. I really don't know how I feel about this figure. I think it's cool that they gave us a juvenile T-Rex figure to go with Wilson and Andrea, but I just think the execution of it is not up the PNSO standards. I feel like the hind legs are a little too short, especially if you look at the Jane specimen. That specimen had really, really long legs, and this one, they just look too short on me. The pose is, simple. It's just a walking pose. I have issues with the articulated jaw. We'll get into that a little bit later. And the other thing is the paint scheme. It's really boring and bland. It's pretty much a carbon copy of their Carcharodontosaurus and Allosaurus. I just wish they did something different with the color scheme, make it a little bit more vibrant. Yeah, it kind of matches up a little bit with the striping on Wilson and Andrea, and you got like a little bit of green thrown in it. It's a little bit more vibrant than the adults, but it could have been so much more, and I just feel like the color scheme is just really, really lazy. I know PNSO is not known for the best paint schemes, but they can definitely do better than that. And the figure does stand fine right now on two legs. You do get a little stand with that, which I will take out momentarily, but yeah, it's just an okay figure in my eyes. All right, let's just do a couple quick measurements. This figure is 6.5 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, and just about 2.5 inches tall. So I believe the Jane specimen is estimated to be around 17 feet long, so I'll put this figure somewhere in that 1/30 scale range. And here's the little stand that comes with Logan, very similar to the one that comes with the Pachycephalosaurus, and all you need to do is just position it underneath the chest, and it'll help with stability. Logan is a very light figure, so you really shouldn't have to worry too much about warping, but I always use the stands that come with these figures just in case they warp. I've had a few figures warp over time without the stands, and the stands will definitely help slow that process down. All right, let's zoom and take a look at some of the finer details on Logan, starting with the head. You notice the head is a lot more longer and slender than an adult Tyrannosaur. It has very juvenile-like qualities. It has a larger eye, which is painted brown with a black pupil. You get some black paint on the muzzle and a little bit around the orbit and the horns on top of the head. You get some nice scale detail on here. For a small figure, if you really look closely, there is a lot of nice scale variation on here, but it is a really small figure, and probably my biggest issue with it is the price. It's a $30 figure, and it's really, really small. We've gotten figures 2 to 3 times the size of this from PNSO for just over $20, so I don't understand the price on this figure. I think it's outrageously priced for how small it is and what you get. You can see the teeth are nicely sculpted and painted. No sloppy paint on my teeth, which is kind of surprising. They are very small, and the jaw is articulated, but mine has a problem. If you notice right here where the hinge is, it was glued really tight, and when I just opened the jaw, there was no resistance, and you can see the jaw cracked on both sides, which is unfortunate. I will be contacting PNSO. I ordered through Amazon, and I'm going to try to get a replacement because that's going to come off at some point. And you can see the jaw closes kind of flush. I'm not going to really, take a point off for it, like not closing completely flush because the jaw hinge is broken, and I don't think it's closing as tight as it should. But opening the mouth up, you can see some gum tissue sculpted in there. And then look at it from the front. Oh boy, that's a face only a mother can love. That is just a goofy looking Tyrannosaur. You can see the tongue has a nice gloss coat on it with some nice detail. And turning it over, looking at the underside of the jaw. And my hands are shaking like crazy because this thing's so small. You have some nice details on the roof of the mouth. And then even underneath the lower jaw, you have some nice scale detail. And they're very fine and minute looking. And then going down to the neck, you can see some more nice folds and wrinkles and nice scale detail. Like I said, the color scheme is pretty much exactly like the Carcharodontosaurus. I really don't have too much to say on that. You have some blushes of pink and green and some cream color on here with this dark striping. Like I said, very boring and uninspired. I wish they did something different with that. The front limbs are a little bit bigger proportionally than, adult Tyrannosaur. That's because this is a juvenile, so it has larger proportions. And going down to the legs, you can see, the legs, the thigh kind of really blends in with the body right here. Not too much muscle definition. Just like I said, I wish the legs were a little bit longer because they're really long looking in the Jane specimen. And then going down to the front legs, you can see the toe claws are painted in black. And oh my God, I gotta stop drinking coffee before I do these reviews. Sorry for the shaky hands. And then turn the figure over. You got some nice details and scale variation along the belly. You do have a little bit of a cloaca slit. We always have to do our dinosaur butthole checks. And then going down the tail, you have all nice fine scale detail and some nice striping that goes all the way down to almost to the tip of the tail. So yeah, it's a decent figure. Just like Andrea, it's just not my favorite releases from PNSO. So they're just kind of there, and after I'm done reviewing them, I just kind of forget about them. They're not the most exciting figures in my eyes. Moving on with comparisons, first up, here it is with their Pachycephalosaurus, another figure that's very similar in size to Logan, and they both cost the same price, like I said, just over $30. My Pachycephalosaurus does not like standing without it stands, so I have to hold it like this. And next up, here is PNSO's Ankylosaurus. Now, this figure is probably 3 times the amount of material that's in Logan, and this figure only costs around $20. So yeah, the price of Logan is really bugging me. I just don't understand why it costs like $10 less than like the Tarbosaurus. It just doesn't make sense in my eyes. And next up, here is their Carcharodontosaurus. You can see the color scheme is very similar. Like I said, I just feel like they got really lazy with the color scheme on this figure. And next up, here it is with their Allosaurus. I'm going to have to position them against this because another figure that does not like standing. Same thing. Oh, sorry, Logan. You can see that the color schemes are, pretty much similar. It's just that greenish color with the striping. It's just, I don't know, just this lazy in my eyes. And next up, here it is with their Chinsusaurus. And next up, here it is with PNSO's Triceratops. And here it is with their Tojangasaurus. Only reason I'm bringing this back out is just to emphasize the point. This figure costs just over $20, and this one costs just over $30. Just want to hammer that point one more time. And here it is with their Tarbosaurus, which I love. I absolutely love this Tarbosaurus. Even though it's so big and fat, this figure just really does it for me. And here it is with Collecte's Juvenile T-Rex, and I like the Collecte one a lot better than the PNSO one. Yeah, it has that big, vibrant paint scheme, but I just really like the look of it, just with those really long stick legs and just the feathers. Just everything about this little Collecte figure is pretty awesome. And let's zoom in so you guys can actually see it a little bit better. And next up, here is Mommy Andrea, and let's get Wilson out here. Let's see. I can get all these into frame nicely. So yeah, it is a nice looking Tyrannosaur family. But Wilson is definitely the standout among the three of these. If I had to pick one, it would be Wilson 10 out of 10 times. These two I can definitely live without. And lastly, here's the T-Rex family. With Collect A's T-Rex family, obviously I'm missing the Roaring T-Rex. I just never picked that one up. But I like, as a whole, Collect A's T-Rex family just a little bit better than the PNSO one. I'm just not sold on Logan and Andrea. I just think they could have been a lot better. Like I said, I love Wilson. Wilson's fantastic. I don't even care how big his scales are. He just looks so much better than the other two. So, final thoughts on Logan. He's just a meh figure to me. You know, I have him, yeah, yay. Now I can complete my T-Rex family, but honestly, he's definitely not worth that $30 price point. I think he's way too expensive for what you get. 20 bucks I could live with. $30, if I had another go at this, probably wouldn't have gotten him. Which is weird of me to say because I absolutely love PNSO. I pick up almost every single one of their products. But like Logan and Andrea, they're just, middle of the road, below average PNSO releases for me, and they can definitely do much better than them. Color scheme is boring and uninspired. I wish they did a little bit more with it, give it more vibrant colors. It just looks like they copy and pasted their Dinosaurus paint scheme on it. I'm not going to knock it for its articulated jaw. I don't know if it's like a one-off problem of mine with the jaw snapping like that, but I do know some other people with Wilson, like the jaw was too tight and they end up snapping it at the hinge. But like I said, I'm going to contact PNSO through Amazon and see if I can get a replacement figure. And if anyone else had problems with the jaw, let me know down below in the comments. So hopefully PNSO's next release gets me a little bit more excited. It's their Memenchisaurus. It just got released yesterday. I already ordered mine. I'm really excited for that. I love sauropods, and I wish PNSO did more of them. Yeah, it's a update of their older Memenchisaurus, but I surprisingly do not have that figure. For some reason, I never got their old Memenchisaurus. There's always too much stuff out around the time I wanted to order it, and I just kept kind of forgetting about it. But I am happy to get the updated version. I'm really looking forward to that. So that would do it for the review. Still got a couple Jurassic World Dino Escape stuff I need to review, so be on the lookout for those reviews in the near future. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.